Hi everyone and welcome to yet another VC Chat podcast episode. Today's topic is a serious one, cybersecurity. We're going to talk about one of the most promising startups coming out of the Central Eastern Europe called Trickest, one of our portfolio companies. And our today's guest is Nemanja Tanasković, co-founder and head of operations of Trickest. Nemanja, welcome to the show and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me and thank you for this warm intro. I'm coming from Trickest, a cybersecurity startup from Belgrade, Serbia. Actually, we are now incorporated also in US, but we are like the whole team is from Serbia. In Belgrade, we are operating from this region. So yes. I'm coming from Trickest. I'm dealing with business operations in our startup. And if we are talking about my background, I like to say that my background is like startups, because previously I was co-founder of another gaming startup. So I'm trying to translate some sort of like experience from my previous startup to Trickest, and that's how I came basically to.
How did the journey begin with first Miracle Dojo with Uroš, and how did it came to be at that point, and then you switched to Trickest? A
lot of people asking me that because it's like not so similar industries. Actually, Miracle Dojo, my previous startup, my first startup was a mobile gaming startup, started from our university. My colleague from university had an idea about creating a mobile game that should bring like the media and everything into karate sport. And we started developing a game. We created a team. We started getting first players, and I was I think about 4 years in Miracle Dojo. And actually, from the same beginning, my role was something about operations, but at that stage, at that phase, previous stages in startup, it's not so defined role. So I was dealing with everything you need to deal in early stages of startup, and then after 4 years, I just noticed it's time for change. And actually, I didn't have in plan to switch to Trickest immediately. I just wanted to have a change in like my career. I've stopped working in Miracle Dojo, and then those months, like 3 or 4 months before, I've met Nenad, who is CEO of Trickest.
Nenad Zarić,
yes.
And Mihailo Tomić, the two
other
co-founders.
We'll come to the stage about like the setting up co-founding team. I've met Nenad. He was friend of a friend, and we started talking about like the startups. He had some idea about his product and everything. Actually, Nenad was a security engineer in several companies here in Belgrade. He was penetration tester in like internally in internal security teams in those companies. And in one period, Nenad was hunting bounties. Actually, for those who are not so in security industry, bug bounty hunting is like a new wave in new approach in offensive security industry. Actually, 10 or 12, 15 years ago, companies recognized and identified the power of like community knowledge and crowdsourced knowledge. And they started to invite, I like to say, freelancers, penetration testing freelancers, to try to find vulnerabilities in their systems. Actually, the number and the different types of vulnerabilities that are rising day to day are huge, and like the workforce in cybersecurity is not enough in order to prevent all the potential breaches and everything. So companies actually identify the space that they can like bring those like freelance penetration testers, even maybe some ex-black hat hackers into the companies, but not directly by employing them, but opening bug bounty programs. Actually, bug bounty program is a program on some of the bug bounty platforms that are on the market. I think 2 or 3 big platforms are there now, and companies decided to like open those their systems or part of their systems or some new features they plan to launch and everything to those like community, so they can try to find bugs, and the companies will pay bounties toward them.
Yeah, that's a game changer for most of the companies. Actually, you publish a problem, or actually that's more of a truth or dare type of thing. I dare you to do so, and you say the problem, and everybody tried to solve that issue, like fulfill the dare, and actually the ones who manage to do successfully, they get a reward.
Yeah.
And you can leverage the power of community and creative thinking of because there's 2 people thinking the same way. And we have like thousands of people, experts in their field, trying to solve that issue that actually contribute a lot more to security, of the company. I mean, we can tell that Nenad and the guys actually work for Fortune 500 companies through the platform called HackerOne, and I can witness to that community of cybersecurity engineers is one of the most transparent one and the most active I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely, and it's evolving day to day, because when Nenad started to hunting bounties, it was like I think 6 or 7 years ago. It was different. Now you have, I don't know, you have more than 1 million active users on HackerOne, the biggest platform. You have companies that are like putting a lot of money in their bug bounty programs, because companies realize that if you address the potential problem, the potential vulnerability toward thousands of freelancers, you can benefit more than if you address that problem to, I don't know, 10, 15, or even more internal penetration testers. So that's the power of crowdsource, and that's how the idea for the Trickest raised. Actually, Nenad was hunting bounties, and he noticed the problem in like repetitive tasks in process of penetration testing. He tried to build some super simple web application for his own use, and he actually gathered few tools from the community, because traditionally the tools that are used in penetration testing are mostly tools that were made by community, and Nenad gathered 2, 3, 5 or 10 tools implemented in web applications, in his web application, and instead of downloading all of the tools each time when he wants to hack, he had it like installed on his some server he rented or whatever, and he noticed that his productivity is better, and he also had more money from bounties. From that moment, he came to an idea to commercialize that product, and that's like predecessor of Trickest.
Yeah, because I remember when Nenad was showing us the power of Trickest and how the things were without Trickest and with Trickest early on in Trickest life. I remember because you connected us with Nenad personally, me, then the rest of the team. A lot of manual work was being put for every test you need to run, like proper coding and executing on commands for different types of I mean, when he lit up the screen, I was like, okay, you cannot find a way on your screen at the moment. And the productivity of security engineers, I think that's the key problem. I think you guys are the founder market fit, what we like to call for this type of startup. define the problem. The cybersecurity engineers are not productive. They do not deliver the results, do not deliver the value they can, because they can deliver the value, but they need to be faster.
Yeah, actually, I think that they are more like hungry for more, because yes, you can find vulnerabilities with manual work, but I think the most of the like super good bug bounty hunters are creating their own automations, and everybody creates their own small types of automation, and that's because they want to be like more productive. They want to find more vulnerabilities. They want more, and that's why I think the problem raised. Nenad, when I met Nenad, actually we started speaking about the Trickest and how that idea could be commercialized. I like to say that Trickest idea about our product came directly from the market, because Nenad used that product, the like MVP for the product for, I don't know, 1.5 years maybe. And actually he showed me like the paper with like problems and solutions, and that's the thing that if from this perspective, if I rethink everything, I think that's the like the core of our idea, and the most of the things are still like active. We are working on some things. Some of them, like through the process, we probably forgot something, and we changed the mind about some things. But when we go step back, we are again on those like pillars of like the problem, the challenge we try to solve.
So the key problems are?
Actually, the key problems is that the tools that were made by community, there is no standardization in development of those tools. You need to find them on like GitHub or some other repositories. You need to download them to learn how you will use it, to learn the commands and everything, and then you can use one tool, and not using the same tool for, I don't know, 2 months, you will forget everything. You need to handle like infrastructure, because you need to spin up some machines you want to execute those tools on, and everything. And Nenad actually came to an idea to create a cloud solution that will offer everything, the whole package, to the penetration testers. So you have like currently we have more than 200 tools on our platform. We have like infrastructure management we offer to our users. So penetration testers don't need to think about like spinning up some machines on AWS or some other provider. We are like doing everything for them, and we save money for the penetration testers, because we have like auto scaling system and everything. They don't need to care about like turning off the machines when they're sleeping or whatever. So actually that's the like feature side of our product. But actually the biggest power of our platform consists of connecting those tools into workflows, because when you want to create some process, you naturally you will think in line. But if you try to think and to create like pipelines in graphs, you can be more powerful, and that's the power of our platform. You can go like in whatever direction you want, and you can create a really robust automations using Trickest.
So the key Trickest is, just summarize it, Trickest is a platform, online cloud platform, that users can use to actually automatize the process and create dynamic workflows that actually can contribute to better security of their products. So you can just log in and create the workflows, like schedule them, and close the computer, and you know that you will get notified when some error occurs, or when your tests actually show any results.
Yes, exactly. And you can like the platform generates a lot of data. Actually, that is the part of like co-founding team building process. Let's go step back. Nenad started like using his own tool, and he started thinking about the data that tool generates. Because when you use one tool, it will like give you some data. But if you connect several tools or tens of them into workflows, you will get a lot of data. And then actually he was penetration tester. He has no knowledge about handling data. And that's the point where Mihailo, our co-founder, steps in. And then I called Mihailo because Mihailo was a data engineer, and he called him in order to help about like handling and managing the data that tool will provide. And that's how Mihailo came into the story about Trickest. So actually, beside the thing about like automation, about like scheduling the workflows, you can use a lot of data from our platform in order to push it to some dashboard to your, like if you're a company with security team, you can use outputs of our workflows to push to some other tool to push to your dashboard or whatever.
And what does that benefit? Like company can, if you push the data and I can see in the dashboard or whatever, what's the benefit for me?
Right. Actually, a lot of big companies, they actually don't know what their infrastructure is, and they have a really big problems in order to have a clear picture about how big their infrastructure is. And we help them because with our platform we can create a workflow that will generate better results than do it manually, and then you can push those data to your dashboard from which you can use it for some further analysis. So actually the biggest value is that you can like cover several use cases through some workflow, or you can use several workflows to cover more use cases instead of using like different tools, instead of creating your own automations and everything. And I think the good benefit for companies is that if you create some workflow, you can just like changing the inputs for that workflow and getting the totally different results. Because I've mentioned maybe before when speak with some potential clients, they a lot of big companies, they are getting like the more endpoints, the more things into their infrastructure on a daily basis. So you cannot do it manually. You cannot scan your full infrastructure manually. But if you just changing the inputs in our workflows, you can get totally different results.
Again, amazing tool for the problem lack of cybersecurity engineers globally, not only in this region, globally. For I think almost 1 million positions, something like that.
No, it was 4 million workforce gap. I think 1.5 or 2 years ago. I'm not sure now, but I think it's similar.
Yeah, so huge gap.
Huge gap, yeah.
And then you have a tool that automatizes the process, and you have standardizes the tests and all the inputs they get, and you can use the data to actually discover the critical issues you have potentially on the infrastructure, and you're closing the gap. I mean, you're putting more power into cybersecurity engineers' hands than ever before. They can do a lot more. Yeah. And that's the thing that actually amazed me when I met you guys first, and see when you explained the problem so clearly and you showed them, they came up, show you the problem on computer, and when we see the reaction of companies and cybersecurity engineers and strong community you built over years now, it actually, I'm amazed what you're going to do. I mean, the Sifted report saying that you are one of the most promising startups coming from this region, I was like, yeah, that's a true story. And we actually met met Trickest because of you in mid 2019, yes. And then we saw that there's potential, but there's no MVP yet. But we started talking about potentially us investing in Trickest early on. What was your perspective? I mean, you went through getting an investment before with Miracle Dojo, which is another of our portfolio companies. How was how did you help Nenad to actually navigate that and then join the team later on?
Yeah, actually, the moment when you met Nenad, I've met him few months before, and actually, I think that period when you met Nenad, I was quitting my job in Miracle Dojo, and at that moment I was speaking with Nenad about the idea. We had some like friendly brainstorming sessions where I've tried to translate some of my experience from Miracle Dojo to like early stages of some startup, basically the idea about startup. And that moment, Nenad and Mihailo was working in companies. They have like full-time job at that moment, and I think that the biggest like moment was when they realized they need to like quit their jobs and go full-time in Trickest.
Which is scary.
Which is scary, yeah. It's scary, and from this perspective, it's for like really big respect for them, because like you are in IT, your salaries are high for this for the standards for this region and everything, and you decided to go off and to start something with really high risk at that moment. It's still, because startups are like risk.
Yeah.
And actually you met Nenad and Mihailo, and we started thinking how we can get some amount of money so they can like go full time in Trickest. That was the moment we started to think about some investment, and that was like, to be honest, the biggest thing when we met you, in order to like gather some amount of money so they can like quit their jobs, so we can hire 1 or 2 people to help us work on Trickest, and to like rent some office to be in one place. At that moment, Nenad already spoke with a few friends, ex-colleagues who helped him like from the first day. Some of them are still like really important team members of Trickest, and they were like had brainstorming sessions and everything. So he tried to wrap up thing before he quit, because he wanted to be sure that at the moment he quit, he can go full time in Trickest. He can provide like some financial support to those people to rent an office and everything. And that was the moment we decided to raise it's like pre-seed, pre-product investment from ICT Hub. At the same moment, Nenad and Mihailo was like conducting penetration tests for some clients, and that was like the initial amount of money that helped us establish really like the first Trickest team. What was my story at that time? I quit a previous startup job, and then was speaking with Nenad and Mihailo. Actually, the whole security thing, it was really like totally another world for me. And then had a great like approach to explain me what he's building. And actually, his energy like was something I've like liked from the first day, and that's how I came to Trickest. Actually, our first like I can say project was preparing documentation for grant from Innovation Fund. Yeah, and that was really like good project in order to meet each other, how we work, how we can like work together. And it was I think December 2019.
Yeah, we started in December preparing for that, December, January of 2020. Then Corona hit, but we submitted the application by April, if I'm not.
No, we submitted the application by 31st of December 2019, but the decision was in April. That's the dynamic.
Yeah, but it started later on. I think it was in September, right? Yeah.
No, we started August, but that was the process. And actually, that grant from Innovation Fund was really good thing because with investment from ICT Hub and with that money from grant, we actually built our team. We built our product to the phase that it's like ready for the first testers. And that's I always say when some like young startups, like young founders come for some with some question how we can raise some amount of money to kick off. I always mention like Innovation Fund and ICT Hub because you're here, you're like locally based, and that's the like good thing to start. And that Innovation Fund grant is good because it's equity free. Actually, you don't need to give a part of your company to someone in order to get some money. So on those two like investments, we got raised our team. We hired some people. I think the team was about 6 members in that time, and we developed a product to the stage. It's ready for some testers. From this perspective, it's totally different like product now, but at that moment it was ready to show the world something.
But yet again, I mean that was enough to raise a proper seed round just 9 months after we invested. We invested in April of 2020, but in February of 2021, you got connected with Credo Ventures from Czech Republic, the Early Bird, Digital East, and with consequently through them to the Romanian unicorn founders, UiPath, who later joined the round as angels. I mean, yeah, we know that we worked a lot during 2020. It was a hard year for everybody, especially for you guys building the product right there. But that experience of raising the first round with us, with pre-seed, and then getting the grant, how did that prepare you for what came with the negotiating the round with Credo Ventures and Early Bird?
Actually, yes, but it's from my perspective, it's totally different approach, because when you raising like the pre-seed, pre-product, the early stage, like we raised from ICT Hub, it's different. You have an idea, you have like that vision, you have 1 or 2 co-founders, and that's it. But at the stage when you need to raise like seed round, you need to have something. You need to have like a product at some stage. You need to have a team. That's probably the most important thing, that you can show the team that works together and that is like able to develop your product further. And actually it's a bit different. I think that the biggest difference is like the purpose of raising, because when we raised like the investment from you, our goal was to quit jobs and to start
building.
Yeah, full time. And the later stage, we are already like committed totally to startup, and it's like different. You have like a need for the money in order to like hire people and everything. So from that perspective, it's different. In terms of like some bureaucracy things, there's similar like steps in the process, but from the like motivational and like the purpose of raising money is totally different.
Yeah, I agree. But yet again, you had conversations with many investors. I mean, you were heard of beyond our region, and I know that when I connected you with Credo, that everything played like super fast. Yes. Like in 2 weeks, you had something. You were deep in conversations with them, and then later on, Early Bird joined. How was that feeling? I know you at the time you were really conservative. How you're going to approach fundraising? Well, I don't know. We were ready. You were really conservative about it. But everything played out super fast. How was that?
That's my biggest impression from like that transaction, because we didn't have some experience with dealing with some like a little bit later stage, but it's still early stage funds, VC funds. And my biggest impression still is how the things are going fast. And I think that's maybe the biggest learning from that process of fundraising. Actually, VCs are becoming present on this region. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you know better, but I think 2 years ago, because they realized we have good engineers, we have like cheaper engineers, and we can build the products. So the first approach was toward Serbian startups, maybe few years ago, 2 years ago, and if you remember, we got like connection requests from several VC funds. They wanted to speak even earlier, maybe 6 months before we raised the seed round, but we thought we are not ready for that stage round, and I think that's good decision at that moment. And actually, we stopped all the negotiations with the VCs, and then 6 months later, some of them reconnected to us, and we started speaking about the amount of money we need, our plans, our vision, the state of the product, state of the team, and everything. But the biggest impression was how fast they act. That's the biggest thing. Actually, from this perspective, I know they have some standardized process. I mean, they have standardized term sheets. They have standardized documents. They have the whole procedure is pretty standard. But you, at the end, you need to make a decision to invest in some company, to give your money to some company. So it's big decision, but they are super fast on making decisions. I remember that when we raised seed round, the lead fund from that round, they had several talks, mostly with Nenad and Mihailo, and the last one was, I think, the concept was that from one side you have founders, and on other side you have the whole team from VC fund, and anybody can ask founders whatever they want. And that meeting was finished, and we got term sheet, I think 20 minutes or half an hour after that. That was insane for us. Yes, it is standard term sheet, but at the end you decide to put a lot of money in some companies. So
that's getting a term sheet is like getting, but when an athlete gets a contract of sponsorship for the things he does or she does, it's a big deal. I mean, I know when you get it in your inbox, you're like, yeah, we're closer to getting that closed. And that meeting with the whole team of Credo happened also fast. I mean, a couple of weeks after
Yes.
initial contact, right?
Yeah, super fast. They were really straightforward. They understood our story. They understood the type of startups in terms of the type of product we are making, and they approached really fast. We got the term sheet 20 minutes after the meeting, after they basically decided. So that's the biggest impression, and that learned us that we also need to be fast in order to develop a product, to approach the market.
And how's that after getting it was total round was 1.6 million, including the Moonfire joining later as one of the co-investors. How since then, how is the story going? How was the cooperation with the new set of investors? What value did they bring? Because they can bring a lot of value, because Credo Ventures and Early Bird invested in UiPath, which is a huge startup, huge success coming out of Romania, which is a neighboring country. They know how to work together, and they recognize something similar in Trickest. Shout out to them right now, to all, if they're listening. How's that story going from them?
Yeah, actually, we didn't have any experience with raising such an investment at that period, mostly with the terms, mostly with the documents, the procedures, the policies and everything. And that was the first support we got from them. Actually, at that moment, as a first-time founder, you cannot know everything. So you need to have a decent support from your VCs in order to go through the process. Actually, we needed to like establish a company in US. We needed to have lawyers that will like set up all the legal infrastructure and everything. But we didn't have experience with that. We didn't know any term about like options, about vesting, about anything. And we needed to believe them in order to go through the process. And actually, that was the first like thing where we noticed that we can get support from the VCs. From that moment, we have like institutional support. Like we have a really good network of not just internally from VC funds that invest in our company, but from their portfolio companies. So we can contact if we want someone from that network. And you learn a lot things in that process. So actually, that's, I think it lasts about 1 month. From like the decision to setting up the company in US, opening bank account and everything, finishing the whole documentation, you learn a lot, and you constantly dealing with first time things in that process. And from that moment we realized that those are people who had same interests as us. So we are a team, and we need to behave like a team, and that's the point. From this perspective, I think that besides the money VC funds put in your company and the network, that's huge network and really good like address to address your question if you have it. I think that from this perspective, I think that it's not so popular. Maybe if our VCs are listening, it's not so popular. Meaning that I think that some founders can stuck with like waiting for VCs to give them solutions. I think that the purpose of VC is to be like supporting functions, to be like if you have question, you ask them. If they have like some suggestion from the market, you can use that suggestion in order to like not make a mistake. But some young founders, I think, make mistakes because they are waiting for the VCs to give them like the solution. So I think as a founder, besides money you get from the VC, you have real support from the whole network. You can learn a lot of things from the network, but you don't need to like wait for the VCs to like wait for them to give you concrete solution. So you need to go fast, and you need to ask them questions through the process.
You need to be proactive. You need to dictate the tempo.
Yes, you need to be proactive because you're thinking about your startup 24 hours a day. So you can change your mind several times during the day, during the week. The things in startups are so dynamic. So when someone from outside looks at that kind of a process, it's pretty mess. But you made a 1 million of small decisions every day. So when speaking about making decisions, I think that founders should be really proactive and just getting the support and supporting functions from VCs. Probably the biggest support we got from our VCs are like the people from network. Through like portfolio network, we met a lot of people that are currently working with us on a daily basis. We have like we have some guys working with us on some legal stuff, on some product legal stuff, on like taxes and everything. So those are the people who helping us a lot, and they are actually like the full parts of our team, and that's probably the biggest support besides the money you get from the investment.
Yeah, I mean I don't know if why you're apologizing to VCs when you say they need to be in a more supportive role. That is true. VC funds and VC fund managers and VCs in general, angels as well, they all need to support the founder, and that's their role. You need to like provide them with the resource that what I usually call high octane fuel, and guidance if they need any. Yeah.
I don't like to say guidance, because if you say guidance, it will like it can change the direction of making decisions. But
sometimes it can, if you provide the inputs.
Yes, but I think that the founders should change directions.
Definitely, the founders are in driving seat. They're making the everyday decisions.
Yeah, because as I said, you're thinking as a founder, you're thinking like 24 hours daily about that stuff. VCs had like, I don't know, 200 companies, 100 companies in their portfolio. They cannot think about your startup in the way you think.
Completely true. Yeah, that's why you need to be like a baby trying to get attention. Yeah, you need to show them that you're worth of getting the attention of there, because they're spread around thin. They're not fully committed to one company. They have 20, 30, 50. Yeah, but again, they need to be fully supportive for every company in their portfolio. But when you're pushing fast and you're scaling fast, of course they're gonna.
You will attract them.
You will attract
because
them, yeah.
you need to like go toward the market, and if you are going good toward the market, you will attract them. They will definitely. That's the moment they can help. That's the supportive function.
Exactly.
But the network we are getting from VCs is really, 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 really good. It's really good, and it's really, really helpful. From day one, we have like the lawyers we met at the transaction. We are working with that lawyer still. Some other guys from like their portfolio companies still working with us on some things, and that's really helpful, because you have like the experienced part of your team. You cannot hire that guy because you're like small still, you have not money, he is working in some other company, but the suggestions you get from those experienced people are like really, really valuable.
Yeah, I think during our conversation so far, I honestly heard a lot of naming the word community and network, and either way, community of your customers, building that hype around your product, getting it off the ground. Then you have network of people that needs to be around to like support you as mentors, advisors, as supporting organizations that there are, and then you have VCs that need to be the open door of their network, their community. So a lot of communities around you trying to support the founders, and I think that's noticeable that how the keyword usually becomes a community or network.
Yes, actually, it depends on what type of product you develop, but you cannot avoid communities. That's like if you are like creating a B2B product, you will need to be involved in like some local community in order to hire. If you are creating a like B2C product, you will definitely need to be like present in some communities. So communities are all around us. So you need to be like, in first you need to have what to offer to the community, because the community then you can like use the community power, the crowdsource power, because if you have like the value to offer to community members, they can like help you skyrocket that. But that's the like the base. You need to have something to offer to the community so they can like feel the value.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. What is the, I think, let me rephrase this. Right now, the acquiring talent, especially in early stage startups, is super hard. Especially the tech talent. There's a big. How do you see you finding the talent you need, and where's the VC support there? Because they all, like you said, they open the network, they open the people to you. did you leverage on that? Did you get the people you needed with the help of the VC?
Yes, actually, we are hiring locally. We have some remote employees, but the majority of our team is based here in Belgrade, and the majority of our team are like the local developers. Like the support in hiring processes from VCs, it's more like some supportive function in some like the administrative things, because as I mentioned, we didn't know what like options are. We didn't know what how we should approach, how we should like pitch options to our employees, and we got a really valuable suggestions from our VCs. But actually, at the end, you need to sell the story to your potential hire. So fighting with bigger companies, with companies with bigger budgets, with companies that offer some sort of like sustainable business to their like potential employees, it's hard. But I think from this perspective of hiring a team, you need to have like the vision that you should share to candidate, because I think that if someone share the vision, they cannot share the vision from day one, but they can see the vision in your speech, in your like negotiating with them and everything. And if they see that and if they value that, you can hire that person. But like fighting with big companies, it's not easy, you know. But I think if you have like enough good like product, interesting product, if you are in good industry, I think that's really important, because it's not same in each industry. You can hire, you can find talent. It's difficult processes, because you're handling with like human resources, you're handling with some like interpeople things and psychology and everything, but you need to be aware to convince people that you are creating a great story that could be like their own story also.
Get them hyped, get them hooked on your vision and the future of Trickest and future of your company. And building on that note, where do you see Trickest in the future? What's the current status, and where the Trickest is going in the near future?
Yeah, actually, we currently we are acquiring clients. We are providing our product to enterprise clients and to individual clients also. So we have like two approaches. Actually, we are developing currently some features that are like we got like feedback from our initial users, our initial clients. So currently we are selling our product to the clients. Speaking about future, we want to have a lot of users on our platform. We want to like listen to them even more in order to like tweak the product toward their needs, and then to like become the everyday usage tool for penetration testers. That's our goal.
Ambitious goal, but on your way there, you just mentioned when we talked initially that right now, and you said here, you're focusing, also paying attention to the individual users, and you're also trying to build the community, super hype community around Trickest, the people who will use the tool every day, provide feedback, feed with new workflows, new ideas that can be implemented, and there you can leverage the community you have to get to the enterprise clients and spread the usage of Trickest across the board.
Yeah, actually, as you mentioned before, a lot of like individual users, a lot of people from community are working in companies. So the whole like community is really tight, and it's pretty young community. That's interesting, because when you see like the ranking lists on HackerOne, you can see that like in like top 10 people, you have like people around 16 or 17 years old. So those are like the guys who likes what they are doing. That's like the really important thing. And when you provide a tool that offers value to like those like type of individual users, you can benefit in order that he will speak about your platform. So yes,
that's your ambassadors at the end.
Yeah, they will be ambassadors of our platform. We already have some ambassadors. We already have some people from like the community, like some people who are known across the community that are using our platform and speaking about the platform. So yeah, we have in plan to invite more individual users in our platform in order to get like the gather feedback, to like create more features for those like customers, and also to provide that community knowledge to companies. Because if you have thousands of individual users creating workflows, sharing knowledge, also companies can benefit from that type of like crowdsourced knowledge. That's the idea. That's how community works in cybersecurity.
I honestly hope you will succeed in that and leverage the knowledge there and build Trickest and be the beacon of regional startup community. And lastly, closing out our conversation right now, you've been into two startups, with one in gaming industry and right now with Trickest in cybersecurity. You've been through a lot of different situations. What would be your top advices, one or two, for anybody who's trying to build a startup from the ground up at the moment? So what would you advise maybe younger self or anybody else?
Younger me. Actually, I think that the most important thing when you like are in startup is to go toward the market, to be market oriented from day one. So as soon as you can have one single user, even if you have just like landing page and everything, you need to do that, because you're not building the tool for you. You're not building the product for you, even if you are coming from industry, what is our situation. But you need to like open to the market from the day one. I think that like market oriented approach it's really important, and to try things fast. So you need to try to test everything, your ideas fast in order to like if you don't have enough feedback, if you don't have like enough users that could tell you in what direction you need to go, you need to find a way to test things fast. I think that's the like two small advices to someone who wants to build their own product and to publish it as soon as possible, and try to try things fast.
And
to test things fast.
Test and collect the feedback. And
definitely, yeah. That's iterative process. Yeah, but yeah. If you try something, you can like go with good decision or with a mistake, but you won't be status quo. I think the status quo is the biggest like problem for startups. Startups cannot be in status quo for a long time.
I like this last part, right? You cannot be in status quo for a long time. I think on that note, we'll just close this conversation. Thank you very much for your time and great story, great conversation as always, and the great punching line at the end. We close it down with the bang. Thank you once again. And for everybody else, thank you for sticking to the end, listening to us one last time. Lastly, I need to say special thanks to Ministry of Youth and Sport of Republic of Serbia, as well as to Serbia Innovates project funded by USAID in Serbia and implemented by us. They're great support for making this channel happen at the first end and for developing it further. So thanks to them, and thank you again for listening. Until next time, bye.